amazing Mini Mario toy. Hurry, buy.
Bananas.
Mini Mario toy. It walks, it talks, it says.
Money.
Each one comes in its own crystal ball. Collect one, collect them all. Be the first one on your block to own the amazing new Mini Mario toy. Hurry before they're all sold out. Hurry, buy one, buy them all. Buy them all. Buy them all. Buy them all.
As an advertising major, I would never fall for that type of marketing manipulation. Stupid Donkey Kong. The video game industry was finally beginning to gain traction. A company called Nintendo just released a game to hopefully break its way into the arcade market. The game was called Radar Scope. And it sucked. It was just another spaceship shooter game, so Nintendo retooled it and gave us this. Donkey Kong took the world by storm. It was a game that featured a carpenter named Jumpman and a gorilla who kidnapped his girlfriend, and it was your job to get her back. This game launched the future success of Nintendo because something very important came from this game. Only a few years later, Mario would once again take off and quickly become the most popular video game character of all time. But we all know what happened with Mario. What happened to Donkey Kong around that time? So, Donkey Kong never left, but he never struck the gold he did with the original. You mean to tell me that Donkey Kong Jr. Math wasn't the smash hit the original was? That isn't to say that Donkey Kong was dead, but Mario definitely took over. In 1994, Donkey Kong had a breakout year with Rare's Donkey Kong Country on the SNES and Donkey Kong 94 on the Game Boy. A couple of things happened in 1994. Donkey Kong started his own platforming series, and Donkey Kong also went head-to-head with Mario in DK94. Donkey Kong 94 was a direct continuation of the original. This is made very clear within the first couple of levels where you just repeat the original 4 stages of Donkey Kong with a brand new moveset. Once completed the first 4 levels of this hidden gem of a Game Boy game, it then breaks out into a full 2D platformer with over 100 brand new Donkey Kong stages with brand new level themes, ideas, enemies, music, locations, and mechanics. This is such a wonderful game. It would be a shame if it took another 10 years for another Mario and Donkey Kong puzzle platformer. I mean, it makes sense. Donkey Kong and Mario were off doing their own things. They would constantly show up in games together like Mario Party, sports games, and kart games, pretty much all the spin-offs. But it wasn't until 2004 that Donkey Kong once again pissed off Mario on the Game Boy Advance. In this specific instance, Donkey Kong sees an ad on TV and it convinces him to go buy a Mini Mario toy. So he rushes out to the store, and apparently the Mini Mario toys sold out as fast as the PS5 did because they're out of stock immediately. So what's Donkey Kong's only option? Steal them directly from the source. Couldn't have done any better myself. So Donkey Kong robs the entire stock of Mini Marios, and it's your job to get them back.
Hey, come back here. No, you don't. No, you don't. What are you doing? What's going on here? Oh, yeah, mamma mia. Tutto rovato. Let's get going.
This was yet another 2D puzzle platformer. The future of the Mario vs. Donkey Kong puzzle platformers was looking brighter than ever. What? So, the Mario vs. Donkey Kong series completely shifted to a new type of game. It was now a strict puzzle game where you have to guide the Mini Marios to the goal by changing the environment around them. And it was fun! A neat shift, and honestly, it just made sense. While I missed the puzzle platforming, both Mario and Donkey Kong had a platforming series of their own going on at the time. So it just made sense to shift to something other than a platformer. And again, I want to reiterate, it was fun! There was just one problem. And I always wondered why people got tired of these. They just didn't stop! The Mini Marios literally took over the series and didn't stop moving until 2016 when the series halted. Yeah, from 2017 to 2023, there was nothing. I honestly thought the series was dead. But before some random 2023 Nintendo Direct, a reliable leaker posted a Donkey Kong Country rumor. And why this is important is because at the time, the Donkey Kong Country games were also MIA. 2014 being the last one with Tropical Freeze. So DK Country fans were more than excited because they thought they were going to get a new Donkey Kong Country platformer. Yeah, well, who could have seen this coming? It didn't happen. Nope, instead a remake of 2004's GBA title Mario vs. Donkey Kong was announced, and it wasn't met with the most positive reception from the announcement trailer. Fans got too excited over the leak, and this is one of the reasons I try my best to ignore leaks and rumors. They get your hopes up, and whenever something gets announced, you're met with disappointment. And that sucks, because the original Mario vs. Donkey Kong is a great game, and I was more than excited to hear about this remake. But regardless of that, on February 16, 2024, Mario vs. Donkey Kong released on the Nintendo Switch.
Mamma mia! Here we go again.
Now, I pre-ordered Mario vs. Donkey Kong a little while back. I got the game voucher, so I've got Princess Peach Showtime as well. But I was a big fan of Mario vs. Donkey Kong on the GBA. I bought it on the Wii U's Virtual Console, and well, it would be nice to play it somewhere else. So how Mario vs. Donkey Kong works is Donkey Kong sees an ad on TV for the brand new Mini Mario toy, and he rushes out to the store to buy one, but unfortunately, he's just a tad bit too late. So instead, he runs over to Mario's toy company and steals the entire stock of Mini Marios, and it's your goal to get them back. Right off the bat, the cutscenes look stunning. Mario and Donkey Kong look better than ever, and they're very expressive and fun. My only issue, and I think we kind of all saw this coming, Mario doesn't say some of the funny stuff he used to.
Hey, come back here. No, you don't. No, you don't. What are you doing? What's going on here? Oh, yeah, mamma mia. Tutto parliamo, tutto gravato. Hey! Hey! Wait! Oh, stop! Come back!
Again, I think we saw this coming, but what we have here works. That's just kind of a nitpicky thing that I missed. But what I will say is it's great to hear Charles Martinet again. But moving into the gameplay, each level is presented in 2 sections. That is until you get to the late game. But the 2 segments include finding a key and bringing it to the door using these color swapping blocks and dodging the many obstacles presented to you. Once the door is unlocked, your goal is to then find and grab the Mini Mario that was left behind. To traverse each level, Mario's equipped with a strange but fun moveset. He can jump, somersault, climb, crouch, handstand, and double jump. While for the most part, it's a simple moveset. Certain segments do let you manipulate the moveset to get places you feel like you shouldn't, which makes it all the more rewarding. The game features 8 normal worlds, 8 extra worlds, 2 bonus worlds, and then the time challenges on each level once completed. The remake includes 2 new worlds, Slippery Summit and Merry Miniland. Both of these feel right at home and are a welcome addition. Minus the boss battle of Slippery Summit. My goodness, this boss battle sucks. I might just be bad at the game, but this tight area of ice physics is not a good mix. Pisses me off. But that brings me to my next point, difficulty. I've watched a decent amount of reviews and I played through the original game previously, and while it's not the hardest game on the planet, it features a lot of patience segments, and that's not my strong suit.
Time's up!
But I think the game works right at the level it's at. It's a charming little game that's not too hard, which makes the playthrough lean more towards the relaxed side, which in my opinion really works for this game. But there was something this game did that the original didn't. It added 2-player co-op mode. I go nuts for multiplayer. Being able to play my favorite games with my favorite people is a big selling point to me. But I was worried here. Normally, when a multiplayer mode is added to a single player game, the second player doesn't have a whole lot to do because the game is designed around one player. But thankfully, I'm glad to say that if you have the opportunity, this game is so much better with a second player. The reason is each player is given something separate to do. There are now 2 keys in each level required to complete the stage, and each player can only hang on to one. This opens up the opportunity to work together with your player 2 to rethink each level because now you have 2 different tasks that directly affect each other. So if you can, find a player 2, and that's the best way to play this game. Now, as for the quick obvious stuff, the music is amazing, the new versions of the tracks are all great, and the game looks stunning. But moving on, I will say there's one thing this game would directly benefit from, and that's a level builder. Now, I know why it doesn't have one. Mario Maker 2 is on the Switch, so go buy that. But I feel like these levels warrant a design tool, especially since it's a series staple with the other Mario vs. Donkey Kong games. But the game has enough without it, I just think it would benefit from it. The game also has a casual mode which gives you 5 bubbles each level so you don't have to completely restart. Yeah, I didn't play this mode, but I get why it's here. Now, do I think it needed to be remade? Yeah, I'd like to see this sell well, and for me personally, I'd like to see the series continue. It's always been a charming one to me, and it would be really nice to see a brand new game. But for now, I'm more than content with this remake. I had a ton of fun playing it with friends, and I would highly recommend it to anyone who's on the fence. Mario vs. Donkey Kong is a wonderful game, and it still holds up to this day. With the addition of the multiplayer mode and a ton of quality of life changes, I think Mario vs. Donkey Kong on the Switch is the best way to experience this game. Especially if you bring a player 2 along. You know, all this talk about Mario vs. Donkey Kong makes me realize I would pay so much money to have some type of physical mini Mario. Something like that's gotta exist, right? Of course. Well, there's really only one thing I can do here, right? Well, you gotta give it a second.